All right, parents, today we're going to talk about self-discipline for your homeschool child, okay? Let's get into it. All right, look, check it out. You got to make sure that your kid has self-discipline, all right? And you have to also enforce this, all right? And what I mean by that, I'm just going to give you an example. Zakai, all right? Zakai, I came home, Zakai was up at 2 o'clock, but it was Thursday. He thought it was Friday, right? You got to have he got to have self-discipline. So he has to get up in the morning. Now, we normally get up at 10:30, right? 10 to 10:30 we get up and he starts his homeschooling. Well, having self-discipline is going to bed on time. All right, so make sure that your child goes to bed on time. Whatever time you got them going to bed, make sure they go to bed at that time. And here's the catcher, okay? The catcher is you gotta go check on them, right? Because if you don't check on them, they might just be up. If you fall asleep, they might just be up. All right, and they playing the little video games, playing their Roblox, playing their Fortnite or whatever it is that they do on the computer, watching YouTube videos. So making sure that kid has that self-discipline, getting them to understand the definition of self-discipline, okay? Self-discipline is also eating. Making sure that when that kid takes his break, sometimes kids, when they're playing video games, they tend not to eat or they forget to eat. I don't know how they do it, all right? But I know when I'm hungry. But, having that self-discipline is making sure that you get off the game and get you something to eat. Get off the game, and if parents call you to eat, it's time to eat, okay? Having self-discipline, okay? Definitely going to bed on time. That's one of the things that I do want to stress is getting your kid to bed on time, because you do not want your kid getting up in the morning time all groggy and stuff. Okay, whatever time you guys may get up. Me and my son gets up at 10 to 10:30 and we start homeschool. So the last thing I want him to do is be groggy, while he's doing his homeschool. And I will tell you this, those video games can definitely distract your child. Now, I'm not saying they can't play them. I'm just saying, just make sure that they have that self-discipline to know how to get off the game and go to bed, or get off the game, go eat. Get off the game, go take a breather, go outside and get some air. Okay? That's self-discipline. You want to make sure they have that self-discipline. If they're doing their work, you can check in on them. My son he's in the 8th grade now, so I check in and out on him. Some of you parents actually just be in the room with the kids if they're in the lower grades. But you want to make sure, as far as that self-discipline, that your child is not playing video games or on the phone with their friend while they're doing their work. Okay? So those are some things that you want to look out for. You want to look out for that your kid is on the phone with their friend and they're not concentrating. They may think they're concentrating, but they're really not concentrating. Because if you have someone talking to you in this ear and you're looking at a problem and kids trying to do a problem, they might just miss the answer, the correct answer, because they got their friend in their ear talking to them, okay? They got to have that self-discipline. So please teach the kid that self-discipline. Trust me, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. It's going to make their life a whole lot easier, because now they understand, I'm going to do this stuff when I finish my work. Because when you do that, you having that self-discipline to be able to tell your friend, hey, you know what? I'm homeschooling right now. I want to make sure I do good in my classes. Let me finish this and I'm going to call you back. All right? Simple as that. Okay? Very, very, very simple. You want to get them in that groove, to make sure that they take care of business now and then afterwards. Have that self-discipline to go ahead and then they can talk to their friend. All right? Parents, self-discipline is also those kids getting up in the morning, okay? You train them to have that self-discipline, okay? To get up in the morning time. You tell them, hey, you know what? I've been working all night and I've only got maybe I don't know how much sleep you get, but I'm pretty sure that your homeschool child got more sleep than you did. You let them know that, hey, you got more sleep than me and I'm up with you. So you can definitely get up, right? Come on, let's get up. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes and we're gonna get ahead. We're gonna go outside, we'll get some air, come back in, and we're just gonna start our lesson. All right? So make sure they have that self-discipline to get up in the morning and get started on their homeschool work. Okay? Because as soon as they get finished, guess what? They got more playtime. That self-discipline is, just having that self-discipline to make sure that they get all their work done, right? They take their little 10 or 15 minute breaks, but self-discipline and getting them back in there and going. The self-discipline is also to make sure that when they take those breaks, that 10-minute break don't turn into an hour break, okay? Because it happens. That break will turn into an hour break. Sometimes it'll turn into a 2-hour break because they're playing video games. They're on the phone with their friends. Okay, so just make sure that you stress that self-discipline to your child. You got to have that self-discipline. Without that self-discipline, your kid can be all over the place and they'd probably be up at midnight doing homework because they did more playing than they did work. So make sure that they have that self-discipline to make sure that they get their work finished earlier on. Knock that stuff out, because you have to understand, the later it gets, the tired they get. All right? Make sure that they have that self-discipline. Talk to them about self-discipline, and just lay down your rules for self-discipline, and just make sure that they're needle precision, concentrating on their work, and that they don't have any distractions going on. You know what I mean? So when they do that, they're going to finish faster and they're going to get a better grade. All right, parents, that was it for self-discipline. This was a short video. That's it. That's all I have for self-discipline. I just wanted to share that with you because this is a problem in the homeschool. Some of the homeschool communities is that the video games. They'll take a 10-minute break, and if you don't watch them, that 10-minute will turn into an hour. Okay, so I did want to address the self-discipline to make sure that they can get off that game and get back to their work. Okay, and also eat. They got to make sure that they eat for the nutrition. All right, I'm the Homeschool Dad. I will see you on the next video tip.